There's a moment right now when something is eating at you and you're pretending it isn't. Maybe it's a person who left. Maybe it's a failure you replay at 2 a.m. Maybe it's the quiet fear that you're falling behind everyone else while smiling through it. You've gotten good at hiding it. But hiding it isn't strength. It's exhaustion wearing a mask. Somewhere, ancient men who ruled empires and lost everything they loved figured out something you haven't yet: how to stay unshaken while the world burns around them. Marcus Aurelius buried his own children and still governed Rome with a steady hand. Seneca was exiled, betrayed, and sentenced to death, and faced it calmer than most people face a bad text message. What did they know that you don't? Tell me in the comments, what's the one thing that breaks your calm the fastest? Because by the end of this video, that thing will lose its power over you completely. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You were never taught emotional strength. You were taught emotional suppression. You were told to man up, stay positive, just don't think about it. And none of that is Stoicism. That's avoidance wearing a Stoic costume. Real emotional strength doesn't mean feeling nothing. It means feeling everything and still not breaking. Most people collapse under pressure because they've spent their whole life reacting to the world instead of ruling their response to it. You get one comment, one rejection, one bad morning, and suddenly your whole day is hijacked by something outside your control. Does that sound familiar? Have you ever let one small moment ruin your entire week? The Stoics saw this coming 2,000 years ago. Epictetus said it plainly: you suffer not because of what happens to you, but because of what you tell yourself about what happens. That single idea will either save you or torment you for the rest of your life, depending on whether you understand it. And you're about to. Let me take you back to Rome, to a man wrapped in imperial robes, but carrying the weight of a dying empire. Marcus Aurelius woke up every single morning already exhausted. Betrayals, wars, plagues, the death of his own children. Any normal man would have shattered. Instead, before dawn, he picked up a pen and wrote himself a reminder: today I will meet ungrateful people, liars and fools, and I will not be surprised, and I will not be shaken. He wasn't writing a book for the world. He was writing survival instructions for himself. That private journal became Meditations, the most powerful field manual for emotional control ever written. He didn't wait for the world to be kind to him. He built an inner fortress no outside chaos could touch. And that fortress is the exact thing you're about to learn how to build for yourself. Lesson 1. Separate what is yours from what isn't. This is the foundation Epictetus built his entire philosophy on, the dichotomy of control. Your reputation, other people's opinions, the outcome of your efforts, the past, none of that belongs to you. What belongs to you is your judgment, your response, your effort, your character. Most emotional pain in your life comes from gripping tightly onto things you were never meant to hold. You replay an insult because you think you should have controlled how someone saw you. You panic about an outcome because you think you should control the result. But you never did, and that illusion is exactly what's draining you. The moment you stop fighting for control over the uncontrollable, something strange happens. Peace rushes in to fill the space where anxiety used to live. Have you ever noticed how the moment you let go of trying to control something, it suddenly stops hurting so much? That's not an accident. That's the mechanism the Stoics discovered before psychology even had a name for it. Practice this today. Before reacting to anything, ask one question: is this mine to control? If not, release your grip immediately. This single habit alone will change how you experience every difficult moment for the rest of your life. And there's still more waiting ahead. Lesson 2. Your obstacle is your teacher, not your enemy. Marcus Aurelius wrote something that should be carved into your mind: the impediment to action advances action. Translation: the very thing blocking you is often the thing sharpening you. You've been taught to see hardship as something that happens to you. The Stoics saw it as something happening for you. Every rejection builds thicker skin. Every betrayal sharpens your judgment of character. Every failure hands you information success never could. Seneca went further. He said difficulty strengthens the mind as labor does the body. Which means the discomfort you're avoiding right now might be the exact thing preventing you from becoming who you're capable of becoming. Have you ever looked back at your worst moment and realized it secretly made you stronger? That's proof this law is already working in your life, whether you noticed it or not. Now imagine applying it on purpose. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" That single shift in language rewires your entire emotional response system. Pain becomes data. Suffering becomes strategy. And the version of you who survives this season will be unrecognizable to the version who started it, but only if you don't stop here. Before we go further, I need to ask you something honestly. Are you actually applying any of this, or just watching and nodding? Because knowledge without action is just entertainment, and you didn't come here to be entertained. You came here to change. If you're serious about becoming emotionally unshakable, hit subscribe right now. This channel exists for people exactly like you, who are done being controlled by their emotions and ready to master them instead. Drop a comment below with the word strong if you're committing to actually apply lesson 1 and 2 starting today. That single action will hold you accountable in a way silence never will. And trust me, what comes next is where the real transformation begins. Lesson 3. You are not your emotions, you are the observer of them. This is one of the most liberating truths in all of Stoic philosophy. When anger rises, you are not the anger, you are the awareness watching the anger rise. When fear grips you, you are not the fear, you are the calm space in which fear is simply passing through. The Stoics called this the ruling faculty, the part of you that can witness a storm without becoming the storm. Most people fuse their identity with whatever emotion is loudest in the moment. They say, "I am anxious," instead of "I am experiencing anxiety." That tiny shift in language creates enormous psychological distance. Have you ever noticed how naming an emotion out loud instantly makes it weaker? That's the observer stepping in. Practice this the next time emotion overwhelms you. Pause and silently say, "This is a feeling passing through me. It is not who I am." You'll feel the grip loosen almost immediately. This is not suppression. This is command. And once you master this, no emotional wave, no matter how violent, will be able to knock you off your feet again. But there's one more lesson still coming, and it might be the hardest truth of all. Lesson 4. Memento Mori. Remember you will die. This sounds dark, but it is one of the most liberating meditations the Stoics ever practiced. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that he could lose his life at any moment, not to create fear, but to create urgency and perspective. When you truly sit with your own mortality, something shifts. The argument that ruined your morning suddenly feels small. The opinion of a stranger online suddenly feels irrelevant. The fear of embarrassment shrinks next to the fact that your time here is finite and non-negotiable. Seneca said we suffer more in imagination than in reality. And nothing cures imagined suffering faster than remembering how short life actually is. Have you ever had a moment where a near miss or a scare made you suddenly grateful for everything you normally ignore? That's Memento Mori in its rawest form. You don't need a tragedy to access that clarity. You can choose it right now. Ask yourself, if this were my last year alive, would I still let this emotion control me? The answer will almost always be no. And that answer is the door to the final, most powerful lesson of this entire video. Here's the truth that changes everything. Emotional strength is not something you find. It's something you build, one deliberate choice at a time, exactly like a blacksmith forging steel through fire. Every trigger you don't react to, every judgment you release, every moment you choose the observer over the victim, every reminder of your mortality that pulls you back into what matters, all of it is a hammer strike shaping you into someone unshakable. The old version of you, the one who let one comment ruin a week, the one who gripped desperately at things outside their control, that person is already starting to disappear. Who you're becoming instead is someone who can walk through chaos with the same steady hand Marcus Aurelius carried through the collapse of an empire. Comment below the one Stoic lesson from today you're taking with you. I read every single one, and I want to see who's ready to transform. If this video moved something in you, subscribe now, because this channel is going to keep building the version of you that nothing can break. You didn't come this far to stay the same person who clicked play. Walk away different. Walk away unshaken. Walk away strong.